Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Des Reacts, and today I have a Kodi Lee reaction video for you. And this one got requested a few times towards the end of last year, and I put it on the list and I never really got around to doing it. And then someone commented and said that it's someone that got the golden buzzer on AGT, but he's blind and autistic. And then straight away I thought, I have to watch this. And like, for a couple of reasons. One, that if I think back to singers from like the 70s, the 80s and the 90s that I really enjoy listening to, Stevie Wonder is one of the singers at the top, because I'm just fascinated. I love his music, but I'm fascinated that even though he's blind, he's never let it hold him down. And then I met my wife, and like, she had kids from a previous relationship, and two of her sons are both blind. That the younger one, there was signs of autism there, but it never got confirmed. But they are both blind, and it is just the case that it fascinates me what they can do day in, day out without being able to see anything. So as soon as I got that comment to say that he's blind and autistic, I knew I just had to watch it sooner. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm just looking forward to it, and I'm presuming that he's good because he got the golden buzzer. That I don't think people get the golden buzzer just for the sympathetic side. So I'm gonna, and I want to know more about him as well. So I am gonna be watching the comment. I don't usually watch the talking before and after when it comes to these, but I think in this circumstance I want to watch it because I want to hear more about it.
Scott, tell him, what's your name?
I'm Kodi.
Hi, Kodi.
I'm Kodi Lee.
How old are you?
I am 22 years old.
Yeah.
Who are you, miss? Who are you?
I'm Mom.
Oh,
I'm
hi,
Tina
Mom.
Lee.
Hi, Tina. How are you? What are you going to do here for us today?
I'm gonna sing a song for you on the piano.
I love it. Tina, tell us a little bit about Kodi.
Kodi is blind and autistic.
Wow.
We found out that he loved music really early on. He listened and his eyes just went huge. And he started singing. And that's when I was in tears, because that's when I realized, oh my gosh, he's an entertainer. So, yeah.
It's incredible because like, it's obviously because like he can't see. It's the same. I'm referring to one of my stepsons now, the elder one. And when I first met my wife, and like I moved in and I got to like experience more of what he's like, it amazed me with music that, like, because they haven't got that sense of sight, so everything else is heightened, and that ear for music that he's got. The younger one, he had selective mutism for quite a while, and he's just starting to get that back. So like, the younger one really likes the likes of Jeff Dunham, and especially Ahmed and things like that. He will laugh his head off over it. Whereas the older one, he has this passion for music that, like, it's just he's not the best singer in the world, but he has this passion for music, and like, you can put anything on and he knows every song basically. There's not a song that the boy doesn't know. But yeah, it's that heightened sense without that sight, that they have that appreciation more for music, because they hear everything. They hear more than what we do basically. I'm rambling on.
Go on, Kodi. Go on.
I hope he's good. I really do hope he's good.
This is your time, okay? There's gonna be like 20 film cameras on you. Ready?
Yeah.
Go. Boom.
Like, she just said, like, this is your time. There's going to be like 20 film cameras on him. That could have backfired big time, but because like, he can't see around him, so it could have been the case that he's thinking like, it's just me, it's just a piano, I'm absolutely fine. There's noise in the background from fans, and that's fine. But my mum's just told me that there's 20 cameras on me. That could have backfired completely. But he seemed to like that fact. Ah, please tell me. Sorry, please. I really hope this is the song that I'm thinking. If you've seen my videos before, you will know that I went through a phase where I used to sing songs to my daughter at bedtime to help her go to sleep. And I always had like 4 or 5 songs. If this is the song that I'm thinking, just based on that first bit with a Donny Hathaway, A Song for You. Ah, please. I'm hoping it is. Honestly, I love this song.
I've been to so many places in my life and time.
What?
I've sung a lot of songs, and I made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life on stages, 10,000 people watching, yeah. We're alone now, and I'm singing a song to you.
What the hell? It amazes me, honestly. Like, how do you go from like that introduction on the stage where he has to proper think and like it's very hard to get the words out and things like that? How do you go from that to getting on a piano and belting a song out like that? Is honestly, wow. This is actually like, it's made me go really cold. Like the hairs on my body now are standing up and I have a big lump in my throat.
Oh, there's no space or time. I love you from my life. You're a friend of mine.
Wow.
But when my life is over, remember we're together. We're alone now, and I'm singing a song to you.
Love this song as well.
Yes!
I can't believe what I've just watched. I honestly can't, but it's actually left me. It's like I've got a lump in my throat. I am not a crime person. There is nothing that you could show me on the internet or on TV or anything that would ever make me. There is only one thing in this life that would make me cry, and that is a funeral. My wife hates it. My wife's like, you've got your heart is made of stone. It's not. I'm just not a crime person. I used to be as a kid. As a kid, I was like, if I didn't get my own way, I used to cry and cry and cry. But as an adult, I'm not a crime person. But if something makes me feel emotional, I get a lump in my throat to the point where it's very hard to talk, and that's what happened just then. This, I can't believe it. I honestly cannot believe what I've just watched. It's incredible, and that's what I said like at the beginning. Like I go back and I listen to the likes of Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, and like for what they was able to do with that sight, that it's just incredible. And I know people say that like you don't need to be able to see to sing, but it's the fact that they're playing the piano at the same time. I understand with the singing part, but like you write songs blind, and like even if it's the case that someone else has written that song for you, you still can't read what's on that bit of paper. You're doing it blind. You can't see nothing. And then to get that feel for a piano, it's honestly, it's magical. I'm going to press play and watch the rest of this, but honestly, I cannot believe what I just watched. I really can't. I need to like find the rest of his other performances on this. I really can't. I'm just shocked. I am so shocked.
I'm a new judge this season, And I'm also a new mom this year. And
Congratulations.
it's the toughest job I've ever had and the most rewarding job I've ever had. You just want to give your kids the moon, the stars, and the rainbows. And tonight, I'm gonna give you something special.
Climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you. You are the reason.
Kodi Lee, you have got the golden buzzer from Gabrielle Union.
Wow, honestly, just absolutely incredible. And do you know what? In you have to like look at the parents and even like the siblings around, because it is not an easy job. Like, I met my wife when the like with the two disabled boys. One of them was already in his 20s, or no, he was 19, and the other one was Harvey was, how old was he? So he was probably 12, 13. So I come in at a time where they'd just started to settle down a bit more. But from what I've heard from my wife and from her family and things like that about how the boys were like when they was younger, because it's not that they're blind, it's that they've got brittle bones and everything as well. So you have to be so delicate with them. Like, they're full-time wheelchair users, and yeah, you have to be so delicate with them because of the brittle bones that, like, the with Harry, the 27-year-old, like, when we was on holiday in the summer, he broke his hip just by transferring him in and out of the caravan, and like, so he broke his hip on one side, and then that started to heal, and then we went to the hospital a few weeks ago, and like, they said, oh, we're going to discharge you now, it's healing up nicely. They couldn't operate because of his bones, but they said, like, we're gonna leave it to heal on its own. And then they said, oh, it's healing nicely, he can start getting back to normal a bit now and everything. He went out 2 days later, went like down a step and didn't fall out of the chair or anything. It was just like, it was a pothole, so it's a little jolt on the chair, and he'd done the other side in. So now it's the case that like he's in bed resting again now because he's broken the other side, but because of the bones they can't operate. And for the both of them, there's been so many, like with Harvey, when he was 13 or 14, he was on the school bus coming home in his wheelchair, and they went over a speed bump and that broke his leg. And yeah, there's so many different things. So like, my wife's been having to deal with that for a long time, like near enough 30 years. And like, it is the case that I say to people that I'm a stay-at-home dad, and they look at it and they think, oh, like, you're a stay. For me, it was just a case that like my life went completely different. So I'm gonna get into a bit of a life story, I'm sorry, but my life went a little bit different than my wife's. Like, with my wife, that she had her first child like as a teenager, and then she had Harry when she was still a teenager, and then he was blind and he had all the problems with the brittle bones and that. So my wife had to grow up very quickly, and for 20 odd years she was a stay-at-home mum to 2 disabled children. And it's the case that like, her life got harder and harder as time went on, whereas for me it was the case that like, I left school, I went to work, that I was young, I was single, that I had the partying phase, I had the clubbing phase, I've moved abroad, and like, I'd done so many different things in my life. And then when I met my wife, that to be honest, a lot of people said to me that like, when I met my wife and like things started getting serious, they were saying to me like, are you sure that you want to get with her? She's got 2 disabled kids, it's not going to be easy, and things like that. So there were people around that they didn't want me to get with her because of like going for that life. But for me, it's like, my mentality is different, that I wanted a family. I didn't want to meet someone to have to start again. I wanted a family. I wanted to, like, I met my wife and she'd already had 3 kids, and then like, we went on to have my daughter. But I wouldn't change it for the world. That like, the Ari and Harvey, the 2 like blind boys, they're going to be living with us forever. That they need around the clock care, and that's the thing. I'm a stay-at-home dad. They got carers now. I'm able to do this on the channel because they've got carers. But for me, like, I come out here and do this at midnight. Throughout the day, I'm taking care of them, and I gave my wife the chance to go. I never gave her the chance. It's just that, like, about 3 or 4 years ago, that my mum was a carer. Like, she was working in a care home, and they were hiring, and they said that, like, we're looking for people to, like, take over. And I was working at the time. I was working in an estate agent's, and, like, the opportunity came, and I don't know, I just see something in my wife, like, her eyes lit up, but at the same time, in her mind, she was thinking, I can't because I've got the boys at home. So I said to her, let's swap. That my daughter was coming up to 2 years old, but she's always been a daddy's girl, where, like, as long as I'm in the house with her, she doesn't care who else is in the house. So I knew that she was going to be all right with it. And then I'd kind of taken over with the boys quite a lot up until that point when me and my wife met. So, like, for hospital appointments and school runs and, like, changes and everything, nothing fazed me. So I kind of took over a bit. And so when that opportunity came for my wife to go work, I said to her, like, go. It's something that, like, you've never been able to experience it. She had one job when she was a teenager, and that was a couple of weeks working in quick saves. And then something happened then, and she never worked, and then she got pregnant and had the baby. So she'd never had that opportunity to go to work. So I sent her out, and I'm getting to the point now, basic, but that's what opened my eyes. That's what I have so much more admiration for, like, Kodi's parents than a lot of others might not realize. You'd be surprised, like, how much goes into caring. The Ari and Avi are blind. I've got a cousin that's autistic, so I know how difficult it can be to take care of an autistic child. So to have a child that's autistic and blind, that it's gonna mess up their understanding of the world even more, because they can't see what's around them as well. So, like, hats off to the mum and dad and the sister and the brother as well, because it's a hard job. It is a really, really hard job. And I've rambled on. I'm sorry that I've gone into my life story, but yeah, it is the case that watching something like this, it opens up. And I'm so glad he got the golden buzzer. I'm so glad he was good. That I didn't know what to expect. I didn't want it to be like a pity golden buzzer, but he actually deserved it. He was incredible. But guys, listen, I've rambled on long enough that most people have probably switched off by now anyway. They're like, we just wanted to watch Kodi. We didn't want your life story. But guys, listen, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. I really did. You can expect to see a lot more of the Kodi Lee, like, performances from AGT on the channel. And then I'm going to go in and have a look and see what he's done, like, away from AGT. Because if he won it, then I'm presuming he would have got a music contract or something. I know for AGT they end up with a show in Vegas, but there's got to be more online for him. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But guys, if you've stuck around to the end here, thank you all for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it too. And I hope my storytelling from a bit of my life story hasn't been too much of a downer for you. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I will see you in the next one.